One thing we're going to discuss in this video is actually not just only getting close to deer, but actually how to make them interested in you, so they are the one closing the distance to you instead of you to them. Yes, it is possible, and I'm going to show you how in this video. Hi everyone, Adrian here. Welcome to Wild Bush and Grit. Today I'm about to bust some myth about deer hunting, and it's not just going to be me, babbling and having my mouth moving around here, but I actually have some incredible footage to back up my claims. So I'm mainly a still hunter, meaning I walk slowly in the wood, tracking deer, finding them to make a successful harvest. I do not hunt from blinds, so I know nothing about blinds hunting for deer. And in this video, I'm just gonna lay out, flat out, spill the beans on how I actually get my deers every year. This is what works for me 100% of the time. And I mean 100% of the time. In my opinion, what will make you a great hunter is not the rifle you use, it's not the habitat that you are, it's the knowledge about the behavior of the animal you're pursuing. Okay, this will make you a great hunter. So the three things I want to talk about in this video is first, how I walk in the wood to spot and track deer. The second thing, I'm going to cover some behavior about deer, how deer usually react and communicate. And the third thing I want to talk about is odor control, the smell that you are giving off in the woods. Walking in the wood, I do have a trick up my sleeve, but mainly, it's you need to make as little noise as possible. I will just do very small step. I go very slowly, small step. I will stop often, wait 5-10 minutes, and then move on, okay? And the most important thing here is even before, yes, it's important to not make noise, but it's even more important to be super aware of your surrounding and looking through the woods, okay? Deer are not going to, most of the time, they're not going to be like within a couple of yards. They're going to be like 50, 60, 70 yards ahead of you, and you have to pinpoint them with accuracy first before making an approach, right? One thing that I use is this thing here. So this is just a tail of a white-tailed deer that I harvested, cut, cleaned, dried. To this, it's important because, and yes, I'm using a tail, but you could use a handkerchief. You could use a clean. I've seen people using Kleenex, and it works. But usually, technically, what this does, it's actually confuse the deer a little bit, just enough to get it interested and comes to you, or not bolt right away when they see you moving. So usually I'll carry it in one hand. I'll have, holding my rifle on the other hand, and I will just shake this from time to time as I would, like this. Don't keep it like that because this is a warning sign to all of the deer. So just shake it like this from time to time. And what happens is the deer will get curious, okay? He will hear you coming, definitely. Look into your direction, trying to identify what you are. Honestly, I don't wear camo much. I have some piece of clothing that using camo, but I'm not all full camo guy. And the deer will try to identify you before either running away or coming to you. Think of it as you are in your living room with your significant other. It's Netflix and chill, mostly chill, and there's a loud noise in the basement or upstairs, whatever. I guarantee you, at that point, chilling is done, okay? There's no more chilling at that point, and one of you has to investigate what's going on before continuing whatever you are doing. Same thing for deer. When they hear a noise, they want to identify what it is for. Is it another deer? Is it a squirrel? Is it a bird? And they will stop whatever they're doing, look into the direction of the noise, try to identify. If they cannot, they will try to get a better vantage point toward, to understand what's going on. Most of the time when you're walking the wood and then you see the deer going away and away, it's because the deer has spotted you way before, way before. It has looked at you and you were moving, and then it's clearly saw that, okay, that's not a deer, that's not a squirrel, I don't know what the that is, I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna run away. So I have some footage. It was a great encounter that I had, and that illustrates many of the points that I'm making in this video. First, I spotted the deer. I got close to it, walking very slowly, making sure that every time I was moving forward, I was breaking line of sight with him. Okay, so it was like he was eating, feeding, lowering its head. I would make 1-2 step, stop, because I know he would raise his head, look left, right, making sure everything is safe before going back. So I closed the distance to the deer. Yes, I was making a little bit of noise, but it wasn't that much noise. And the reason is the deer is feeding, so it's also making its own noise, crunching on those leaves. So there was the wind also. So the wind usually will help you. At that moment, I had the wind upcoming. The wind was very good for me, it was coming front to the back. And for a couple of minutes, the deer was completely unaware of my presence. I had time, I could have take a shot on that deer, but that wasn't the purpose. Okay, I was hunting, but that's not the deer that I wanted. At one point, you see the deer crossing the path, and this is where it sees me. How does he react? It stopped, wondering, what the hell is this? Is that a threat? Should I run? As if it's a threat, has it seen me yet? Okay, so this is why it's standing still, trying not to be, not to give up its own position. He's trying to pick up my scent, but the wind is not in his favor. So he's wondering what the hell. And he's moving very slowly because, again, he's wondering what the hell I am and am I actually aware of him at that point. Here you see that it's going back into the cover, back into the fire trees. And now its only goal is to identify what I am. And see how I'm actually standing still in front of him. I'm not moving because deer have very poor eyesight in terms of depth and silhouette. And the only way for it to identify me is if I start moving, then it will understand the silhouette, what I am, and then decides to run. So he's going around, and now he's going on the wind side, picking up my whiff, picking up my scent, and it doesn't run away. Why? Now, there's another myth about hunting that I don't believe in, and I think marketing folks are using scare tactics to make people buy their product, okay? There's a lot of body odor control on the market, lots of them, that allegedly, if you spray, you're not gonna, you're odorless. I don't believe in that. In fact, in that video, I don't do anything, I don't do much for odor control, okay? Like, actually, on that, at noon that day, I actually had bacon and eggs that I cooked. I was probably smelling bacon and egg. The only thing I do, beside, of course, working with the wind, is I'm gonna use a little bit of essential oils to confuse the deer a little, okay? And that's often will give you enough time to make a decision whether you shoot or not. Because the name of the game here is, when the deer is aware of you, is to not give too much information to the deer. And just giving a little bit of information makes the deer curious about what you are, and that makes them come to you. So this is what I meant earlier by having them closing the distance instead of you closing the distance to them. Now the deer has picked up my scent, still not running away. Why? Because it hasn't identified me fully. He still doesn't know. Oh, by the way, the essential oil I'm using is spruce oil. This is the boreal forest, a lot of spruce everywhere. This is a smell that the deer know. And this, probably mixed with my own odor, cannot pick up exactly what I am. The essential oil, I use it in a squirt bottle. I'm gonna put some in my hair, some on my sleeves, and some on my boots. So I'm kind of covering a good column of air. So now the deer, still unsure of what I am, decides to go back slowly into the wood. And as it broke line of sight with me, I'm moving backward just a little bit, making some noise, and then I completely changed my stance. I was standing up, now I'm crouched, maybe 10-15 yards away from where I was. And look at what's happening. The deer is coming back to where I was, trying to pick up my scent on the ground because he didn't get enough to understand what I was. So this tells me that my scent technique worked. And I could have shot it 100 times during this encounter, 100 times. Oh, there are black flies here. Jesus. So, auto control, that's it. That's the only thing I do. And that's it. So, one more tips that I have for you here is, as you walk in the wood, slowly, not making noise. Let's say you're coming to an opening, stop before that opening and wait 5-10 minutes. Look as deep as your eyes can look. Look. If you have binoculars, use your binoculars. Even if the distance doesn't seems, great to you to warrant binoculars, binoculars will actually help you see through the woods. Okay. You can use the focus mode, and it's gonna eliminate a lot of noise that you have in front and helps you look further in to the wood. Wait 5-10 minutes, because if there was a deer that was aware of you, the deer will make a move before you make a move. And this is where you win. Let them move first. Also, as you walk, probably there is one that didn't move as you were walking on and he stayed there. Look back often. Often what I'll do is I'll walk a path. When I see a stump, I will just sit on the stump 5-10 minutes and I'm gonna look. And sometimes there's actually one deer that will cross the path behind me, trying to look at what the heck was that. Just like this little young spike did. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment what are your best tips for still hunting deer, white-tailed deer. It's a type of hunt that I really love and that I practice every year. I had multiple deer under my belt right now, and those tips really works for me. Please do add your tips in the comment section. I want this to be a conversation. Okay, I don't know everything about white-tailed deer. There's probably other things that I can pick up from you folks, and the other viewers also might learn from more experienced folks than me. So let's talk, let's share, let's improve all together. That's it. So have fun out there, be safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. See you folks, bye-bye.